Hello and welcome to Hot Takes, our bonus pod in addition to the reverse sweep show. This is your host SS, and joining me as ever is my co-host AB. In the new year, we are looking at a new series of hot takes, Unbreakable Records. And today we are going to do the first instance of Unbreakable Records. We're looking at Test cricket history, and we each are going to name three records that we think are going to be unbreakable. So, AB, you are going to be having the first crack. Which record do you think is going to be unbreakable?
When we talk about Test cricket and unbreakable records, we have such a huge history of Test cricket, and I go with the first record which comes to mind, the usual suspect, which is Test batting average of Don Bradman. I don't think that will ever get broken. If we even look at the batting averages, then Don Bradman is up there at 99.94. The second player is Wojs at 61.84, Graham Pollock at 60.97. In the contemporary batters, I think the closest that comes is Steve Smith at 55.86. And given how Test cricket has evolved with teams playing to win and with baseball and the game of getting a lot faster, I don't think this is one record which will never get broken. What do you think, SS? What's your pick? One record which will never get broken?
Yeah, a comment on yours, I think also because generally with averages, we have a certain constraint of 20 test matches or 25 test matches. Somebody might have an average of 120, but plays only 10 test matches because he has a lot of not outs. But if you look at the longer run, I think this record is quite safe. My first pick is going to be most balls faced in their test cricket career. And Rahul Dravid has 31,000 balls, and it's the wall who rules the roost over here. I think you have Sachin and Kallis being followed 29 and 28 K balls. And I think in today's cricket, as you mentioned, result-oriented pitches and the intent of the batters, the high quality of bowling that we have, I don't think anyone has the longevity, patience, and the skill to face that many balls. And even the format of cricket has evolved that much. So Rahul Dravid, most number of balls faced in Test career is my first pick. Over to you.
My second pick for a record which will never get broken is most runs in an innings by a night watchman. And I don't remember, I don't think a lot of people would remember, but a certain someone called Jason Gillespie came in as a night watchman and scored a double century.
That's a nice one.
Yeah, so I don't think that record will ever get broken because the second highest is 125 by Mark Boucher, and he was a pretty capable batsman. I
Correct.
don't think someone like a Mark Boucher will ever come as a night watchman in the near future. So this is one record which I feel is pretty safe. Over to you,
Yeah,
SS.
maybe Vivian Siraj has a shout on that, but yeah, in all likelihood it won't. My second pick is longest innings in a test match by number of minutes. It's the great Pakistani batter of the past, Hanif Mohammad. Epic, monumental, titanic 970 minutes for his 337 versus the Windies in 1958 in Barbados. I don't think, as for all the reasons that we spelled out in our first take, this record isn't getting broken.
Absolutely, and the only player that comes to my mind who could have challenged that in the recent future, in the recent past, Cheteshwar Pujara, and if he hasn't come close to that, and I'm pretty sure that he's not going to be playing a lot of Test cricket for
Yeah,
India in the
my
near
man
future.
Craig Brathwaite, the West Indies captain, has played an innings of 760 minutes for 160 runs. So I think he could be the closest contender, but now 970 minutes is just too much.
Absolutely. Now, my third pick for the record, which will never get broken, is most runs in a series by a captain. And currently, that record is with Don Bradman again. He scored 810 in the Ashes in 1936-37. And if I have to look at the recent past, Steve Smith, again in the Ashes in 2017-18, scored 687 at an average of 137.4. And if that does not take him close to that record, then I don't think this record gets broken. So that is my third take on a record which will never get broken. What about you, SS? What's your third take?
Yeah, my third and final take of record that won't be broken in Test cricket when it comes to batting is Everton Weeks, five consecutive hundreds in 5 innings. So most number of hundreds in consecutive innings. There are only three batters who have four. So you can see how difficult it has been. He scored five in December of 1948, one versus England, four versus India, and I don't think five consecutive hundreds in 5 innings. It's too tough for anyone. So there you have it, guys. We have the three hot takes of unbreakable records in test batting. Next episode will be around test bowling records that won't be broken, but see you next week.